Morning, gorgeous. Lovely to see you. Lovely to be outside. It's actually a public holiday in Wellington today, which is why I'm a little bit late, because I slept in and then I thought, oh my God, I can't really sleep in because I need to go live. So here I am. And it's lovely outside. It's a bit overcast. Well, it's not a bit overcast, it is overcast. But that means it's kind of good weather for looking at the flowers. There's just a view. My neighbour's got a big tree fern and hydrangeas and a lemon tree that's got lots of fruit on it. Closer to home, we have the orchid, which is coming back. I cut it all down. Nesreen, hello honey, it's lovely to see you. So I cut it all down and it's just about all. It has been mulched now, but there are the new leaves and they're just beautiful. I have to do this, otherwise it gets sickly and miserable and doesn't do well. And then we have dahlias. I'm not going to walk too far into the garden, but there you can see how they get bleached by the sun when it's bright. Let me go around the other side and find you one that hasn't been bleached, because it's just come out this morning. See, that's the real colour. And there's another one that's probably fresh today. Janine, good morning. It is lovely to see you. Here are some more. There's a lot of flowers on the dahlia. It's a wild thing. If I don't cut off the dead heads, we will have an invasion. Come on, have some focus, please. Thank you. Now you can see the sharpness of the beautiful centre of the flowers. See, it makes seed heads, and they're viable, and there's hundreds of seeds in each one, so I have to deadhead fairly religiously. Something else. Oh, Arlando, good morning. Here is Lilium Regal, obviously called Royal Lily. And, well, what I can't send you is the scent, which is delicious. It's very sweet and polleny. And here we have Feverfew, which is a kind of chrysanthemum. You can see it's got sort of lime-coloured foliage, but it just covers itself in these little flowers. And it looks really nice en masse with the lilies. And this crazy creeper, I don't know what that's called, but it, makes a nice edging. Right, so there are the flowers. And tomorrow, no doubt, this Japanese iris will be out in bloom, but for today, it's just a bud. And it's lovely. And you can see I've got gladiolus coming on as well. So it's all exciting. There's a few roses in the background. They're not very flash anymore, but we'll go and have a quick look at them. And you can see, actually, I'm getting distracted by, we have a very late magnolia flower, and there's actually some flowers up in the magnolia tree too. Good morning, Rachel. We're just doing the rounds. So we have some late red roses. And today, the colour on screen looks close to the colour that I'm seeing in real life, so it really does depend on the light. And a few white roses too. I have to deadhead them. I've been leaving them. Sunflowers? No, not here. In part, Janine, because it's actually quite windy where I live, and sunflowers are tall and you can work the rest out. Okay. So no sunflowers here. Oh, I've got to show you this. This is Compassion, and isn't it a fabulous rose? This bush has been doing better this year than it ever has. I don't quite know how or why, but I'm not complaining. Has a beautiful scent as well. Right, now let me get to the topic. Today, and I cannot recall, Friday was like a year ago. Today we're talking about really basic co-creation 101, or manifestation 101, and I have to give credit where credit is due, because this is all stuff I've learned from Dr. Joe Dispenza. And it's really the idea that if you want to change your life, there is a 3-part formula. I mean, there's more than 3 parts, but the bit I'm talking about today, there's 3 bits to it. And it goes like this. Oh my goodness, I have just found a dandelion. I've got to move that. Excuse me. It's a dandelion clock, right? And if that gets into my lawn, it's not good. It's the only lawn weed I take the trouble to remove. I'm just going to put it safely on the steps. Oh, I'm glad you're in love with the garden. I'm very fond of it. That's dandelion I have to dig out. Right, back on target. So, if you want to create change in your life, most people think, oh, well, you make a plan, you decide what you want to be different, and, you go off and do it. But what about when it's not that simple? What about when you don't have the resources, or the people that you want to be in your life aren't there, or, whatever it is, it's just not happening? Well, that's fine. We've all had that sense of, oh, I'm just banging my head against a brick wall, I'm getting nowhere, I can't do it, the doorway isn't there, there's no way for me to make this happen. How am I going to do this? And that's the challenge that I kind of want to engage with today, because I've certainly felt that myself. So, where it comes to is that I had to become an entirely different person. I've had to become, and am in the process of still becoming, a person that doesn't recognise all those barriers and difficulties and impossibilities and everything else that were driving me crazy. Graham and Linda, good morning. It is lovely to see you. I'm just wondering about going inside. The problem is, because we've got that, I have a beautiful neighbour and he's busy. He's a very crafty man. He's busy with the tool. But inside, it's dark because I just had a meditation. I haven't put the curtains up or anything. I'm running late, like I said. So we'll just cope. It's probably distracting me more than it is you. So, to create a new life. Berna! Morning, gorgeous! To create a new life, you have to think different thoughts and feel different feelings and take different actions, make different choices. And you have to do that independent of your circumstances, independent of your body, and independent of how long it takes for anything to apparently change. Now you know why change is so hard. Because most of us are waiting to feel better or have something change or have something arrive, and then we're going to think different thoughts and feel different feelings and, take different choices. But it doesn't work like that. That's the challenge that we have, right? That's what we face. And that's why we have to learn to overcome ourselves. Because, you can wait for the world outside of you to change. Gregory, good morning! But the problem with that is it can take a hell of a long time for the world outside of you to change. And meanwhile, your life is going by and you're spinning the treadmill. Ugh. You're spinning the wheel, right? Going nowhere. I so felt like that. So what I've understood is that if I want to change my life, independent of what's going on around me, independent of the things that I feel I can't change, I have to somehow think new thoughts, feel new feelings, and make new choices and take new actions so that I can have new experiences independent of all that stuff. And it takes some work. That's the thing. I know, even though I'm still in the process, and I'll be in the process for the rest of my life, I've been in this game long enough now to actually know that it works. I actually have some evidence now. Evidence, what evidence you say? Evidence because my body has changed. I am physically healing things that don't heal. I have, you really can't see it now because it's gone. There was a lump on my finger knuckle thingy. It's been there growing very slowly for years. It was actually growing faster a year ago. A couple of months ago, I just noticed it was gone. Small thing, you think. And there's another bump here under my chin that I've had for most of my life. That's going away. Just slowly. Nothing dramatic, nothing immediate, nothing spectacular. Most of you know that I've had an autoimmunity condition. I'm still unbecoming the self that created that. But it's better enough now that I'm not taking thyroid medication, and I took that for many years. It's better enough now that I'm starting to understand the challenges I've had with my gut for some time. There's all of that. And I've had to overcome my own fear that it might be a whole bunch of other things to actually rest in that. And that's a daily thing for me. That is a daily thing where I have to change how I respond. Because habitually, I think, not going there. So physically, I've changed. I sleep better. I'm happier. Oh my God, I'm happier. And I'm actually making a little bit more money. In fact, I'm making a little bit more money, and every now and then something really miraculous and completely unexpected happens. So, I'm not going to tell you about those stories because one of those is pending, and when it's really landed, I'll tell you about it then, okay? But it's happening. Amazing stuff is happening. One of the most amazing things that happened for me is deeply connecting with my purpose in life, which I never really had. Trey, good morning! And you're right, Linda, you can't force the seed to sprout. It's taken me some time. It's taken me some work to tune in and become the person who actually knows the reason why I'm here. I can't tell you what that's like. It's amazing to know why I'm here and what I'm here for. It's not a fire in my belly. It drives me from inside. There is no question about whether I'm motivated. I'm on track. I'm on purpose. I know what I'm here for. It's just kind of automatic. Now, that wasn't always the case. So, let me talk more, so just to say I have some evidence that this stuff works. This process works. Now, time check. Okay, so why does it all hinge on thinking new thoughts, feeling new feelings, and thereby taking new choices and making new actions and having different experiences, which, by the way, then give you different thoughts and different feelings, and then you make more different choices and have more different experiences and have more different feelings. You can see where this is going, right? Why does it all hinge on different thoughts and different feelings? Well, when you fire thoughts in your brain, and I've just sort of put this piece of information together because guess who I've been listening to over the weekend. When you fire a thought in your brain, neurons talk to each other, you get neurotransmitters. That's what happens when neurons talk to each other. I never quite connected with this fact. Those neurotransmitters, and there are different sorts of neurotransmitters. Dopamine, for example, is the pleasure chemical. Serotonin is what wakes you up in the morning, and you need that to feel good too. Melatonin is what puts you to sleep at night. You need that to go dozy. You need that to dream. If you have too much of it at the wrong time of the day, you can be depressed. What else have we got? We've got. I know there's a few. Okay, here my neurotransmitter knowledge falls through the floor. I could look it up, but you get the idea. There are neurotransmitters, and they're all related to different states of being. Connection, right? The different neural networks that you fire then release different kinds of neurotransmitters. Those neurotransmitters talk to the middle bit of your brain, the limbic system, which is all about emotions and regulating your autonomic nervous system. And then you get neuropeptides. And they're produced in the limbic brain. Now, they talk to your hormonal centres. You can see where this is going. Your hormonal centres directly influence your feelings. They produce hormones and other chemicals, and that's how you get an emotion. So if you're constantly thinking a depressed or sad or worried or anxious or fearful or angry or bitter or resentful or judgmental thought, that's the chemistry you get. That chemistry then influences the epigenetic expression of your cells, real time, all the time, every day, every moment, every thought, every feeling. Gisela, good morning. Amazing, really. Scary, powerful, incredible. We do this to ourselves every moment with our thoughts and our feelings. See why it's so important to notice your thoughts, notice your feelings, realise this is the cascade, this is how it works, and start to think, okay, if I'm constantly feeling and thinking and feeling anxiety, for example, or resentment, shit, I'm doing this to myself right now. Okay, what thoughts and feelings do I want to fire and wire? And you might have to scratch your head pretty hard if you're really used to inhabiting your state of being and you haven't noticed. Okay, now let me tell you what I hadn't noticed until about 2 or 3 days ago. Because something happened, and it's always like this. I really understand now that the universe does what it takes to get our attention for whatever it is we need to see, and it does it as gently as it can. Now, because I pay attention and I'm really aware, I really am, it only takes the smallest thing, and it was a small thing, but it brought up a huge response. It was like, oh, God, that hurts. It was excruciating. And I had to live with it for the day, and I did an extra meditation that night. But the next morning, I was dealing with the most powerful, painful shame. And it was nothing to do with this lifetime. I'm not going to tell you the story. But it was something that has informed my thinking, my state of being, my resonance, what I will allow to come into my life. Everything, my entire existence here has been coloured by this. Nothing to do with anything that happened to me now. And I couldn't see it. Jenna, good morning. Oh, thank you, Darcy. It's just the camera. Yeah, they are grey, really. Julian, good morning. It's lovely to see you. Yeah, it's funny, the notifications don't always work when they should. It's weird. So that was really very painful. And I dealt with it on Saturday morning. Shifted a lot of energy, spent the whole day being really quite dazed. Not confused, just dazed, because my body was making a massive change. Easier yesterday. Today, it's already gone. You know, this is how it works. I had not seen that. I had felt it, I'd experienced it. Every now and then this thing would get triggered and it would go off like an atomic bomb inside me. I thought, why is this so painful? Never understood what it was. Charlotte, good morning. So, you know, we got to become aware, but you got to understand that some things you're not aware of until you're actually at the place where you've dealt with the other stuff, so it's time for that to come up. It's just how it works. So you become aware and then you think, okay, what thoughts and feelings do I want to fire and wire? Quoting Joe Dispenza, those are his words. They're in my head now. Okay? What thoughts do I want to fire and wire? And right now I can't remember because the whole process was so deep. And it was all about some things that happened in another time, in another place. Very powerful, very traumatic things. Not anywhere on Earth, right? This is not my past life Earth stuff. There's another place and time and star system entirely. But it was huge and it resonated through everything. And when it changed, I felt the timelines rewrite. And it was powerful. It was really powerful. And I remember coming out of that after I'd rested and saying to my husband, I had a powerful experience today. You know, and I did. And I'm different. And here's the thing. When you have different thoughts and different feelings and you've decided what they are ahead of the event, and I was doing that again this morning about some other things, tuning into another potential, another new me, another experience I haven't had before and thinking, well, how would it feel? And what would I do, right? So you're imagining it, you're creating memories before you've had them. And it becomes who you are. And then, of course, you're going to make different choices. And those different choices are going to lead to different experiences, different actions, different experiences. And those experiences are going to create different memories in 3D. But when you get to them, you think, hang on a minute. Why am I not completely blown away by the fact that this has just happened? It's amazing. I'm so grateful. Why am I not blown away? Because you've already had the experience ahead of time. And I'm having that a little bit. Now, I will admit that when the miracle that landed recently landed, I was blown away. But I also knew that I'd created it. Just surprised the heck out of me. You know, I'd rather learn by surprises than mistakes. So it takes work, mind you. It takes work to have... What am I saying? Start again. It takes work to pay attention, to notice yourself. To continue to notice yourself, to continue to face yourself when your painful stuff comes up. And it's not about analysis paralysis, by the way. The story that I'm not telling you about where all of that trauma came from is like, well, that's interesting, pass the ketchup. It was interesting. But it wasn't important. What's important is that energy, that vibration, that resonance, which has been limiting me my entire life, is not there anymore. That's the part I'm interested in. The part where I'm free from it. I don't give a wet slap what the story was. The story is interesting. I wrote it down because it was significant. I actually write down the important things after my meditations now. But what matters to me is that I just don't have that felt response anymore. And it was crippling. It was crippling when it came up. And I knew it. I thought, oh, wow, right. Okay, here this is. I didn't even know what it was the first time I really started to work with it. It was, I didn't even know it was shame. But then I realised, oh my God, it's shame. And oh my goodness, it's betrayal. So, nothing to do with this life. Yeah, Darcy, it's amazing. This is another thing that Joe Dispenza says. We learn in two ways. We learn by mistakes and we learn by surprises. Now, which would you rather have? But the thing is, learning by mistakes is learning by experience, right? Course correction. I tried this and it worked, and I tried that and it didn't work, and But surprises, that's when the universe, you co-create something with the universe, you manifest something, and it arrives in a way that you could never expect because it's come out of the unknown. Because if it was known, you'd be able to expect it, right? You'd know this. It's like, oh my goodness, of course we did that before, yeah. Surprise has to come from the unknown. And we're all scared of the unknown, which is why, most of the time we learn from mistakes. But surprises, when they come, they impress us. They grab our attention. It's like, and the brain takes a snapshot. When something new and novel happens, you have a novel experience, the brain goes, ooh, better notice this. Good, bad, or indifferent. Surprise is a great way to learn because it just grabs us. Yeah, it was kind of an epiphany, Linda. The bit about realising it was betrayal was like, oh, okay. But I was so deep in the meditation process that it wasn't, all of those kind of feelings and thoughts that you think, oh my God, it's this. It wasn't. It's just, oh, okay, that's what happened. Oh, right, that makes sense. Oh, thank goodness I can release that now. And the release of the emotion was really wonderful. Jennifer, it is lovely to see you. I am out of time. I checked my clock. I know I got to stop. There's so much we can talk about. And I remember now, I'm sure we'll be talking about this tomorrow. Somebody asked me last week, how do you get into the unified field? So I think I'll be talking about that tomorrow. Again, it's a process that I have learned from Joe, but I'm going to have a great time unpacking it because I've never done that before. So I'll look forward to that. I will look forward to being with you again. Thank you for sharing with me. Big love. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.